everyone, Zeddy here again with yet another Festival of Legends card review. We have Mage and Demon Hunter cards to go over, including Infinite Value, my favorite, random. We'll talk about it. And well, if you want to win these cards, I am doing a giveaway of 2 regular pre-orders, 3 mega bundles out of my pocket. All you have to do is like and comment on the video in the description below. Be subscribed to the channel. We are like almost 300 subs away from the next 1,000 milestone, which would mean I would add another mega bundle. So hit that sub button if you haven't already. Make me go broke. Again, there's no limit on it. Say we get to 1 million subs. Not gonna happen. I'm actually gonna go broke. So anyways, let's take a look. Starting at the Mage card, we got only the 1 Mage reveal, but it is an absolute doozy. We got more Millhouse. That freaking artwork, really rad. We have Infatize the Maxitude. What kind of card name is that? It is 2 mana, legendary spell, discover a spell. Well, wow, that's it. That's it. We're just discovering a spell. Well, thankfully I have learned over, many reviews to read the card. As it says, finale. Return this to your hand at end of turn. And again, finale is the brand new keyword this expansion, which means if you have 2 mana left, you spend exactly the mana left that you have for this card, you will then repeat that effect. So if you only have 2 mana left, you spend 2 mana on this card, you get another copy of Infatize the Maxitude, which means infinite value. You just keep discovering spells, and it's kind of reminiscent of Sister's Falna for Priest, which adds the 3 mana discover a shadow spell into your hand, but that you can do infinitely no matter what. Like, you don't have to finale it. So this card is kind of at ends with its own mechanic, because typically you want to discover a spell and try and use it or, react with it. Quite often, that's kind of what you want to do. This card, you got to discover last, lol, the Twitch meme. So that makes it a little bit worse. And I will say that Mage doesn't really lack, spell generation. They have like Vast Wisdom, 2 mana, discover 2 spells that cost 3 or less, and you switch their mana costs. Got Spell Coiler, School Teacher. Got a lot of ways of generating spells, where infinite value for 2 mana a turn, which is not bad or anything, might not be worth it. And as I mentioned, with those cards, they're tutored toward, or they're like selecting at least most of them for spells that cost 3 or less. I don't know if this is a card you hard run, but it is certainly a card you are going to discover, because the only legendary spells that are going to be undiscoverable, as confirmed by the devs, is the Deathlight one, the whole Rainbow Decay win condition one, as well as I believe the Rogue one, the bounce one, because they don't want you to be able to discover it and go crazy infinite loops with it, especially with School Teacher. So yeah, you can discover this, and that's going to happen for sure. I just don't know if you hard run this, right? Like, it's infinite value for 2 mana, which isn't that crazy? I'm sure like 5 years ago, yeah, this card's broken, you absolutely run it. In today's age, maybe it's just a tech option. Maybe you just throw it into your ETC in some like value grind Mage control deck that doesn't exist. I don't think an aggro Mage deck will run this. I don't think they need it. But it's a possibility. At the end of the day, you could just play it as 2 mana discover a spell. That's typically worth about 1 mana though. I don't know. I can't say this is going to be unplayable. It's infinite value relatively cheaply. I will give it a 3 out of 5 in standard, but I do think it's more of a created by option. I really think you're more likely just to discover it. And in Wild, this can complete your quest almost by itself. The quest of Mage isn't as relevant since the parent nerf, but completing the quest isn't that hard, and you don't really need this. It's again something you might get off like Magic Trick if you're playing that, or Primordial Glyph or something like that. You could discover it. You have Evocation, but yeah, maybe you run it in like a quest Mage. It almost power creeps on the Old Doom quest, which lets you hero power every turn and add a random Mage spell to your hand, but that gives you some mana cheat on top of having to spend 2 mana. I'll give it 2 out of 5 in Wild, but again, this could be a card that does pop up, because I mean, infinite value for 2 mana, and yeah, the ordering of everything is kind of weird. But anyways, let's take a look at those Demon Hunter cards. And we've got 4 Demon Hunter cards to go over, and they're all rush based. I mean, Demon Hunter's got a lot of rush going on, and well, especially the Outcast package. I think a lot of this stuff could work with Outcast. Anyways, let's talk about it. We have Security, a 2 mana spell, no spell tribe or anything like that. You summon 2 1/1 Illadaris with rush. Pretty mid effect. However, if you outcast, you summon 1 more, which is the equivalent of the 3 mana spell, right? There's just that 3 mana basic spell that Demon Hunter has had where you get 3 Illadaris with rush. So you can cheat that out basically for 1 mana more or 1 mana less as long as it's outcast, which isn't bad. This is also a cheap outcast card to activate your other stuff going on. I think outcast Demon Hunter will like this. I really do think outcast Demon Hunter is going to be a thing. Like, it's so close and they're getting so many good cards this set. And plus Illidari Studies being in the core set now, we know that I think this card, it's not amazing or anything. I think it slots into that deck style for sure. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 in standard, maybe even in wild too, where that deck is kind of working to an extent. Again, not exactly amazing, but it's good. It clears stuff up. You have stuff die. It's really not that bad. We have the Snake Bite, a 2 mana 1/1 Naga, so obviously terrible stats. Rush, Battlecry, gain +1/+1 for each minion that died this turn. I just think of that Rush minion for Rogue that has +1/+1 for every combo card you play this game. It's just like so much better. This, you got to do it on this turn. Like, I guess you have a bunch of like tokens die, then you play this at the end of your turn, you get a big bomb. But it's not super likely to work out. Maybe in Wild where you have like Expendable Performers, the 7 mana spell that summons like 14 tokens, and that's pretty insane. That's like +14/+14 if all those die, but it's a 9 mana play, right? These type of cards historically have not been great. They just really haven't. I think of like Wicked Skeleton, which is way worse than this, but like Blood Herald and things like that. I don't know. Things that require very specific setups for that turn, and the payoff isn't even that great. I'm honestly going to give this a 1 out of 5 in standard and WoW. I just not sold on this card working like at all. I just, these cards almost have never worked out, so I'm not sold on it. But hey, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe it'll be insane, and we could clip this for later. We have the legendary minion, Helveria Dark Raven, a 4 mana 4/3 rush. After a friendly rush minion attacks, give your minions +1 attack. Animated Broomstick and Wild. We got some combos going there. Give your whole board rush. Just buff the living crap out of everything, right? But yeah, the idea is you can play this, and this itself will buff your board by +1 attack. And then if you have any other rushers going, right, those will also buff everything. It's just a solid like rush removal that's like a pseudo like Savage Roar, Bloodlust, or more, right? It's pretty good. I think it goes into Outcast Demon Hunter. It's the only archetype I see working with this style stuff. Like, it's not going into big demons. I don't see it anything like that. I do think Outcast Demon Hunter will be a legit deck. I don't know if this is like an auto include in that, because like it's not an outcast card, but the way it just gives you that lethality possibly is pretty nuts, right? Like, a lot of the outcast cards already have rush on them, and then you're throwing this down. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 in standard. I really do believe that outcast DH deck will be a thing. I'll probably be wrong, like I quite often am, but I'm taking a bit more of a leap on this one. And at the end of the day, a 4 mana 4/3 rush is basically, you know, what you would expect for 4 mana at the end of the day. I really do think so. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 in standard, 3 out of 5 in wild. I think it's got a shot, but mostly just Outcast Demon Hunter. And this also can go with it, which you can tutor this, and this is really good. This is just a really good card. As long as you're running rush minions, this is a really good card. 3 mana spell, rush the stage, draw 2 rush minions. So you draw 2 cards for 3 mana, and it costs 1 less. You don't need an outcast to get the discount. You'd think you would, but nope. You just get that discount. So it's effectively like 1 mana draw 2 at the end of the day with the mana cheat. I mean, you're banking the mana for later, but yeah, this is a dirt cheap kind of card draw engine. Cycles your stuff. And yeah, you could tutor out the legendary, you can tutor out your wallopers for Outcast Demon Hunter. Like, this is a 4-star card. I almost want to give it a 5. I actually don't want. I just think any Demon Hunter deck that runs Rush Minions runs this card. I don't see why you wouldn't. You get the mana cheat. You might be able to cheat. And especially with like the 1 mana Outcast minion, right? There's that 1 mana Outcast minion that you could draw it and top deck it, play it, and then you're getting a discount on like another Outcast card right away. I'm going to give it 5 stars in standard. I really think this fuels everything, right? And it doesn't have to be Outcast. Just as long as you got Rush Minions, why are you not playing this? And you're quite often playing Rush Minions. So I'm gonna give 5 in standard. I'll give it a 4 in Wild, where Outcast DH I have seen be a thing there. It's been tier 2 and tier 3. People love this card, and you could play it in other decks too. So I really think this is like the best card of all of them. I think they're kind of strong. Maybe I'm overrating them. Let me know in the comments below if you agree, disagree. I could totally be overrating them, but I'm on the Outcast DH copium train that I think it will be a thing, so I'll go with that. Anyways, there's one more reveal later today. Paladin cards. It might be 1 card, might be a bunch. I'll maybe give some news updates with it as well if it's only 1 card, but I wanted to get this out there because it's like kind of our normal upload time. So stay tuned. 1 more card review, and then there's nothing until Monday. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.